somebody else that you've all sort of mentioned a bit is Wilshere. Now, in the press, a lot of people were saying, I know you're saying you like him, but a lot of people were saying he did okay, he didn't look comfortable, he didn't look confident.
In the wrong position. He played in the wrong position.
Maybe in the wrong position, but I'm interested why you're really sort of backing him.
I saw his debut for Arsenal in Amsterdam and not where you think it was. It was. It wasn't.
You didn't see him make his debut down the back street anywhere. Just for the record.
As well, so it wouldn't possibly be there.
Was he legal?
It was in a pre-season.
Should we leave that?
Yeah. It was in a pre-season tournament.
But it would be, wouldn't it?
And I thought, wow, what is this player? What is this guy?
So people were saying he was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, well, and I still think he is. He's got something I haven't seen in many players. He's not the same as Gascoigne. He's a guy that can get the ball, go past someone with swagger, with physical presence. He can own a part of the pitch. And he's still, only 22?
Can I just ask a question, though? Is that not
Gascoigne didn't even make his debut.
In your view, is that not what leads to injuries, and is he a tippy-tappy footballer under Arsene Wenger? He doesn't play the long ball. He did play one great ball yesterday, but he's not going to make that 30,
What worries me, I mean, I think, why he was picked as the holding midfield player last night beggars belief to me.
Well, because he can play there.
He's not. Clearly, he is not.
Well, what is he?
He's not a holding midfield. Well, I think he needs to play higher up, where he can do damage and be given that freedom.
He's clearly got
a lot of. Well, I don't know about that, but he's got a lot of skill, and he technically can handle a football, which is not a lot of players can. He can. So he needs to be further up. But the trouble is, you're going to play him at the top of the diamond in that formation.
Well, what you do?
You're going to play Sterling.
What you do? Look, this is where people have got to understand about international football is that you've got your best players available. All right, that's a diminishing.
Play the best team, Rob. Not the best players. Play the best team.
I'll tell you something weird here. Jimmy Armfield, who was England's captain in 1962,
okay, smokes a pipe.
He smokes a pipe and plays a church organ. He actually said to me years ago, you know what? Play Steven Gerrard right back. Okay.
Seriously?
Yes. We'll have Lampard in the middle with Beckham or whatever. We'll have the best right back in the world. And he said, do you know what? Cafu won a World Cup, didn't he? Carlos Alberto won a World Cup. Does Steven Gerrard, when he plays for Liverpool, that's fine. When he comes to England, does he want to be the second best midfielder in the world or the best right back in the world that lifts the World Cup? And that's the problem with English football. You've got these resources, put them into positions that not always the ones they play in their team. And if you go and look at Brazil, or you look at Italy, or you look at Germany, they play them where they want to get the best out of them.
But can I just make the point, and it's a valid point, I do want to go back to the defence 1 second. We made the points about the two centre-backs. Baines has made the left-back place his own, and the right-back is an issue. We were, for periods of that game, certainly in the second half and towards the end of the first half, cut open. And that has got to be a worry. Now, like Rob said, look, we're going to get through this group fine, but we're never going to know, are we, until we're really tested in the Euros against a top competition, how bad that actually is. Because Switzerland are not the best in the world, and they did open us up. So that's a big concern.
Well, if they want to keep Wilshere in that role, he can learn it. I personally, like Dave said, would play him further up. He has, but he's got that old phrase he writes, checks his body can't cash.
He can't tackle.
He has got to, I think, be a bit less reckless with his
way he can't tackle, and he's got weak ankles.
So something interesting that someone's written to me is that pundits don't get that position, but maybe coaches do. I'm not. That's not my words. I'm just saying that's quite interesting because maybe it's something new that we haven't seen. What do you think?
Well, I love that position, and I mean, being a Chelsea supporter, I watched the best person in the world play for Chelsea for 2 or 3 years, Makelele.
Steve Sidwell.
Makelele. Mikel. I mean, actually, it's a really good point you make, Kiri. I mean, I'm a huge John Obi Mikel fan. He divides opinion even at Chelsea. But the problem is that people don't understand what he does for that team. Not everybody can be a fancy flash guy. Somebody has to protect
that's the Henderson role, though, isn't it? That's the Henderson role.
There's a good case there.
That's the Henderson role.
I'd put Jordan there.
Wilshere's not the player for me.
It's not Wilshere, it's a Henderson role.
You know what I mean? Henderson role, Makelele role. 1966 it was Nobby Stiles, right? 1994 it was Dunga. And if you go back to Brazil, that's precisely what I'm saying. Dunga and his, Corinthians days and Fluminense or wherever he played for in Italy, he was like creative midfielder. We want to win the World Cup. Play in front of the back four.
But Rob,
him and Mauro Silva played right in front of the back four.
Did.
And then you had the guys, you had Romari up front, and they did the business.
But
Yeah.
Rob,
That's what I mean.
Beto
It was a
Romari.
very squat 4-4-2, very
It was.
compact.
And actually, I'm glad you said that, because 4-4-2, people think that 4-4-2 is the worst formation in the world. It depends how you play it.
Yeah.
Well, Brazil did it with zonal marking, and it was very short spaces. So
I don't like zonal marking.
It's won 5 World Cups.
Well, there is no such thing as zonal. You have to pick
Bobby
up.
Moore was the finest zonal marking England has ever produced. zonal marker.
Keep going, Sheridan.
No, Bobby Moore was a zonal marker.
Rob,
It's a mixture. You pick up the big guy. Anyway, we're not coaches.
Rob,
we need Wally back on. Zonal marking.
Rob, you're in your late 50s. And so,
He said in the early 20s. Yeah.
You're in the last days of your life.
will England win a tournament in your lifetime?
No.
What about yours?
Well, I write for England's official programme, so I've got to.
But
be
I'm starting
positive.
smoking again.
Okay. You might not be around by the Euros.
Hope so.
You think
The embassy.
Yeah, the Rugby World Cup's next year.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, what I'm saying, there doesn't seem much long-term objective with England, does there? Because it's always going to be clubs more important.
No, we
now.
could have won it in 2002, 2006.
Yeah,
and we
but
had
that chance gone.
We had the fake shake coach Ericsson, who sold the golden generation that we had down the drain. And
You don't like him, do you?
No, I don't. No, I absolutely
I
don't.
tell you what, though, Rob. I'm almost as old as you, and England. In fact, we're probably the only two people here who were alive when England did win the World Cup. I don't think I'll ever see them win the World Cup or a major championship in my lifetime at all. But I think that we were touching on this earlier on. I think there are two things here. You can have a team full of average players who, if they play like a team, can go so far. They can get to a quarter-final of a major championship. But to win one, you have to have a great team.
Not necessarily. Greece won
Greece
2004.
A team that plays together, but you do need some world-class players. Now, whilst I think that we could evolve and have a great team, I just wonder where the next world-class players are coming from.
And we've got no world-class players, potentially.
I think we have. I think Sterling is potentially world class.
Who else?
I think Wilshere is potentially world class.
Love
Come on,
Wilshere.